And look who it is.
Turned up, he's here, people.
I'm back again. He made it for the second topic. Well done, you.
Thanks, man.
All right, so anyway, second topic is about Snoop Dogg. And guess what he's gone and done? He's gone and bought Death Row Records.
As you do.
the record label that launched his career. Mm-hmm. He's now gone and acquired it. I know this guy's got a lot to say on that. But yeah, let's go to the article, which comes to us via the Hollywood Reporter. And it is just loading right now.
In the meantime, we'll use some musical interlude.
And the music interlude's over. Okay. So Snoop Dogg acquires Death Row Records, label that launched his career. The deal, announced Wednesday, comes in conjunction with the release of a new album, BODR, short for Back on Death Row, and a wave of NFT offerings, which is the new thing now. Yeah, Snoop Dogg is back in business with the label that launched his career. The hip-hop mogul has acquired the Death Row Records brand from MNRK Music Group, a firm that is controlled by private equity funds managed by Blackstone. Terms of the deal were not disclosed. I wonder why. Founded in 1992 by Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, the DOC, and Dick Giffrey, Death Row was among the music industry's highest profile labels for a stretch that decade, responsible for culture-shifting releases from Dre, Snoop, and Tupac Shakur, amongst others. However, controversy arrived amid a wave of lawsuits and criminal activity, some of which involved co-founder Knight, who remains behind bars. Death Row Records ultimately filed for bankruptcy in 2006 and was acquired at auction 3 years later for $18 million by...
How much?
$18 million.
Oh.
By WIDE, Wide Awake Entertainment. It changed hands a bit over the years, ultimately landing at Blackstone and MNRK. In a statement, Snoop says the brand has immense untapped value. It feels good to have ownership of the label I was a part of at the beginning of my career and as one of the founding members. This is an extremely meaningful moment for me, explains Snoop, who went on to sign with No Limit Records, Interscope, Capitol, Geffen, Priority Records, and Def Jam. I never knew you signed with Def Jam.
That must have been brief, though.
Yeah, very brief.
Yeah, I don't remember Def Jam.
Yeah. I would like to personally thank the teams at Blackstone, MNRK, and especially David Kestenbaum, who worked collaboratively with me over several months to make this exciting homecoming a reality. Blackstone's Kestenbaum, a senior managing director, returned the favor by praising Snoop as a legend. We at Blackstone are strong supporters of the artist and creator community in our entertainment investments. We are excited to put the Death Row Records brand back in the hands of a legend like Snoop Dogg. We wish him success in the years ahead as the brand moves forward under his leadership and vision. Yeah, it's all the same praising. So that is the news. So I'll go to you, Mr. Rock, as a musician and a rap fan. What do you think of this news?
I think it's good news.
Why?
Great.
Why?
I think it's good news because Death Row is it's like a pillar. It's part of rap culture.
Yeah.
Like it really is. It shouldn't just be in the hands of some corporate company. It should be in the hands of someone that's from that era, from that time. Obviously it was Suge and Tupac, etc. Like P Diddy's got Bad Boy. Who's got Def Jam now? Is it still?
I don't know if it's Russell
It's
Simmons.
not Russell, is it? But
I don't think it is because Jay-Z was running it for a while.
Yeah, and then obviously even saying that Rockefeller, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So these things should stay where they started.
Okay.
To start with. As for Snoop, what's he gonna do with it?
That's the interesting thing.
That's what I'm waiting for. What are you gonna do with it? Because I don't want to sound like an old head, but music's changed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Death Row was like gangster rap.
Yeah.
And it was like hard beats and, do you know what I mean? Like real messages.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Even though some of it was shallow or whatever, but it was still...
Most of it was.
Yeah. But yeah, most of it was. But it was hard beats.
Yeah. But yeah.
And
And
it was of the darker side of rap as well.
Yeah.
Because P. Diddy was doing the, you know,
The lighter
I'm
one.
coming out,
Yeah.
and remixing all them party and then
dancing on the
yeah,
video. Remember when Suge Knight was like, if you don't want your, you know, CEO dancing in your record, in your videos,
all
and
up
whatnot,
in it.
Yeah, come to Death
Death
Row.
Row. You know what I mean? And that was an iconic moment. So what Death Row stood for me was like real gangster rap.
Yeah,
I'll
give,
you know,
100%.
Snoop was on it. Pac was on it, you know, even Dre in the beginning.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so it's like, what they gonna do with it now? Because music's changed and
That's the question that I have. Also, well, I've got other questions, but let me see what Damien's got to think on this, and then we'll come back around.
I mean, the first thing is...
I know you're a big hip hop fan as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the weird thing is, though...
But nothing wrong with
Cypress Hill.
nothing wrong with them either.
No, I'm
I like
saying.
them.
UB40.
Before, you know. Oh my days. I'm not the heaviest of Snoop fans. Like, my hip hop is Royce the 5'9", Lupe Fiasco. I was a Dre fan to a degree, more Eminem side than Dre, but like Slaughterhouse, that kind of thing. That's my hip hop side. So I've always, I don't get me wrong, I like some of Snoop stuff, but I won't go as far back as what you guys would do in terms of Snoop. But for me, like him doing this, that's akin to like you turning up at your first job you ever had, and you know you left it because you moved into better things, and you rolled up like 10 years like that. I'm buying the place now. It's mine now.
Yeah.
This is my back, punk.
This is my back.
And you're fired.
And you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. When you laughed at me, you'd get your ass out right now.
Yeah.
So that's what it
I'd
feels
love
like.
to do that in the first place I ever worked.
Wow.
Let us make that kind of money. You watch.
So in that, like and subscribe. You know what I mean? One like might help.
But no, it's I mean, it's as Leon said to Leon's point, like to have him as the head of it, you need someone who's that deep in the industry, not just from a money perspective, but knows the feel of the land. And who better to have it than someone that started off on the album? No, it's him. So I think it's nothing but a promise for Snoop Dogg to go out there and hopefully get better artists on there and to start to find. He's got to find a middle ground because, again, to Leon's point, rap has changed, it has moved with the times. You can't go back and just hope that gangster rap's going to make a comeback.
What?
As like it was back then. Like it was back then. You can still redesign it, and you can still bring new talent into it, and you can give it a new edge. But you're not going to have exactly what you had back then yet, because it's just not going to carry. Unfortunately, the audience is not. The old heads are still there. The audience is still there, but you need to cater to everyone. So he's gonna have to work out what that middle ground is and what artists he's got to bring on board that can cater for both sides of it.
You got a good point.
So
no, he's got a massive.
I've got a counter to that.
I haven't got a counter, but I just wanted to chime in on one thing. One thing I know about Snoop, as much I don't like everything Snoop does.
I absolutely I find everything he does now horrific.
But what I'm saying is he is the one rapper that is constant. You'll see him on the Just Eat advert. You'll see him doing something with Katy Perry.
Kevin Hart on
he doesn't stop.
He keeps himself current.
Right.
I'll give you that.
So
he was commentating on the boxing match.
Right. He does, and over the years, that's like over a 30-year span, he has been current. Like, where's Dre right now?
Even though he did like horror movies for a while, didn't he, as well?
He's done acting. Look at all the rappers back then. They're not still... You put Snoop Dogg on the road, they know who he is straight away. You know, you can put other rappers, you know, I'm just like, for example, like RZA or something. People walk past him. Who's that? Like, that, I'm just saying, if anybody knows about, you know, evolvement and what is possible, I think it's Snoop. I'm hoping he's trying to bring it back. Because he's rich. He's got money. He hasn't got to sign the world. He's not, do you know what I mean? So he can be picky. Is what I'm saying. He can be picky, and I'm just hoping he is very picky.
And that leads me on to what I want to talk about. because there's two things that I worry about. One goes to what you said earlier about the music side of things, but let me just pick up on the point that Leon just quickly said. He needs to be choosy because we remember Death Row for the music, the great gangster rap that evolved from that label. But let's not forget, as the article says, the criminality, which ultimately led to its downfall. And I know Suge Knight is the figurehead of that criminality. But it wasn't just Suge Knight; it was all of them. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
everyone was wrapped up.
How many murder charges did Snoop bust?
At
least one. But at least Snoop's the one buying it. At least one murder case that I know of, 100% that he bust.
Well, remember the tune, Murder Was the Case that they gave me.
Right, exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? Which, obviously, back in that day, because you're selling gangster rap, okay, it works. But again, like I said, it eventually led to the downfall of the label. If you're going to go and get idiots like how they were back in the day, and he would readily admit it, because he has, if you're going to get people with that kind of mentality back on that label, it's just going to be a case of history repeating itself. So that's the one fear that I have. And as you said, he needs to be picky. He needs to go and find. He needs to do what Dre did with Aftermath. Basically,
he needs to find a 50. He needs to find a figurehead like 50
and Eminem.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas they might have their problems, but it's not gonna bring shit on the label. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, obviously 50 Cent had his, beefs and whatnot, but it didn't have anything to do with the label. Eminem had problems with his marriage and Marvin and whatnot, but it had nothing to do with the label.
And even the gravity of it wasn't gonna cover it as much as what Death Row Records had.
Death Row Records.
Because every other time you're hearing about someone's been shot up somewhere.
Right, someone's been shot, someone's gone up for a murder case, someone's done this, someone's done. It was just never ending, and it didn't give a good light. Let's be honest. At that time, a lot of people, and I'm not trying to be racist here, but especially white people, were not fans of gangster rap, and I understand why. Don't get me wrong, but that kind of publicity did not help.
No.
Do you know what I mean? No. It did not help. The second point that I wanted to make is I don't think you're right in that they might have to take he might have to see a middle ground when it comes to music, because rap has changed, but rap hasn't changed for the better. Let's be honest about it.
I don't think so.
Rap hasn't changed for the better. It's gotten a lot worse. You're thinking of a few artists.
Yeah, I'm on the outskirts.
Yeah, you're thinking of a few.
Hip hop culture as it is now, like the artists that I like, they're not the mainstream.
Right,
the mainstream hip hop artists now, they don't reflect hip hop to me.
Right. Exactly. And because I could go in my bubble and still be like Public Enemy and all of that, but that's not, they're legends, but that's not rap today. Most rap today is that mumble crap.
Yeah, mumble rap, or what's the other one? Not auto-tune. There's another one they always talk about.
But the caveat to that is, anytime you play old school rap to the younger lot, they get excited, because you've got to remember they've never heard our rap before from back in our day. A lot of the kids just grew up on this mumble rap stuff. Yeah. So then when you play them a Dre, when you play them old Snoop, when you play them a Wu-Tang, when you play them KRS-One, they're like, raw. But I've seen it I've done it so many times with my younger nieces and nephews, and they're like, raw. Who's that?
And not even that old. I mean, like, going back to that, I mentioned Lupe Fiasco, like, he's been around since 2004, probably before that. He obviously came out when Kanye West did his first album. And Lupe Fiasco, as everyone knows, he is a very deep, layered rapper. I played Superstar to a year 6 class. It was a music class, and we're basically looking at different styles of music, and they were looking at hip hop. And I played Lupe Fiasco, and they were like, this isn't hip hop, and Superstar's been out for like nearly 20 years. And they're like, hold on a second, I can understand what you're saying. So I was like, yes, because lyrics were important.
I can understand.
And it's like, and hold on a second, he's rapping about something that's not. No, it's conscious.
Which is not Louis Vuitton.
No.
Yeah.
It's...
And Balenciagas.
Or going out there banging gal and robbing up the place or whatever. Do Do you know what I mean?
They did always do that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and there was listen, don't get me wrong.
It fit.
I listened to some of that rap, and I still do. I ain't gonna lie. But there's a time and a place for that. And it can't all be that. Like, for as many Tupacs and I don't know, Biggie, you need a Public Enemy. You need a KRS-One. You need
Arrested Development.
Even them, they were good, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Conscious.
Yeah, man.
PM Dawn.
What?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
But to your point as well, when you look at what KRS-One brings out now, like when he made the tune Black, when it came out like I think last year, he's moved away from what he was like when he talked about the police back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's under the police. When he talked about that had a certain element to it. Now he's even more conscious than he was then. But then when you reflect that on the current rap, like whenever you see young hip hop artists, they're extremely crass, but they don't really know where that anger's coming from. Like they're back in the day, yes, it was gangster orientated, and we could say it was very, dark, and they painted a certain bleak picture, but there was a truthfulness of what instigated that reaction to it. You know, nowadays that element is still there, but that audience doesn't really understand it like they understood it back in the 90s and the 80s. There was
right now, for the young bucks, they see it as something to be praised.
Yeah.
Criminal activity.
Yeah.
I'm a shotter.
Yeah.
I went jail.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Oh, chef up this man. Like it's something when back in the day they spoke about it because it really happened.
Well, a lot of them was living that lifestyle.
Yeah, a lot of them
lived that
and
lifestyle.
I'm not saying that some of the rappers are not mixed up in that today, because they are.
Yeah. A lot of them are,
But
a lot of them.
But it's the way they're just making it. It's cool to be that.
Yeah.
It's cool. How's it cool to go pen?
Because a lot of them, you see, I think you hit the nail on the head there. So back in the day, when they were rapping about that stuff, they're rapping about it, saying, I've got out of that stuff and now I'm in the rap game kind of thing, doing well.
Yeah.
Whereas these lot nowadays
are rapping about being in it.
Right.
Rapping about going to get
And it's just stupid. I mean, look at what happened with that guy with a tattoo all over his face and he ended up cheating up the place.
Takeshi 6ix9ine.
That's the one. Like, look at that. And he's still carrying on.
I can't stand him.
I can't stand him, bro. I can't listen. That's not hip hop to me. That's not rap. That's just crap. But do you know what I mean? Like, for me, hip hop died 2005. For me, don't get me wrong. You got your Lupes. You got your RTJs. Run the Jewels. You got
Royce
your
the
Kendrick
5'9".
Lamar, Royce the 5'9". You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, but they're few and far between. That's the problem.
What about Drake?
I've never been a Drake fan,
Neither have I.
I've never been a Drake fan. Yeah, I've never been a Drake fan.
It's too emotional for me. You know, one of those. Like, he's emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
And as far, I don't know what your feelings on it are used to, but as far as I'm concerned, because grime is now thought of as the UK rap. That was not rap to me. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of grime either. And they perpetuate the same crap that we've been talking about now with all that stuff. But anyway, I echo what you're saying, and I echo what you're saying. He does need to be very choosy to not let history repeat itself. And yes, music has changed, and he needs to cater for that. But I think if he can bring back some of the old beats,
production wise, you can work that in.
And that could work. But I don't know. What do you think? It will be a success?
Yeah, I said just to your point. I think if he approaches it the right way, which I think he will, because as Leon said, like he has a business head on, like he's in everything, and he makes sure that he's
a part of everything.
Yeah.
So he's got his feelings on what works. He knows where the needle moves and whatnot. So he'll hopefully bring on artists that they can bring in that production from back in the day, but they have a social element in the context of what they're rapping about that you can mold it. So that's what you hope he'll bring into it.
You hope that.
Yeah.
But remember, Snoop jumped on Katy Perry. He knows what sells.
Yeah.
So it depends what he wants to do. So if he just wants to make money and make Death Row a success, I believe he can do it.
Yeah.
That.
He will, yeah.
All this is a question of, is he going to go back a little bit and try and get some harder hitting productions or not? That's all that Making it a success. Snoop's on Just Eat, rapping, millions. Like, who else is doing that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Even when he was on Triller, I was like, calling them into
So then, with that all being said, do you think this is going to be a success then?
No.
Really? Wow, that's surprising.
I can see.
So you don't think?
I think Death Row will be a success.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Snoop will make it a success.
So why did you say no then?
Because not in the way that you think it's going to be a success.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to be a success in the way that I think he's going to bring my kind of artists on there.
Gotcha.
My kind of old school, beatbox.
Yeah,
lyrics,
the old school,
But as he's business minded. He's one of the smartest cats out there.
Wait, listen, he's been around this long because of that,
right?
So,
and he's current. Everybody knows Snoop Dogg. Everyone knows Snoop Dogg. 50 come out long after Snoop. Snoop is still at the face of rap.
You can say people know him more than know Dre.
Yeah,
and Dre brought him in. But then Dre took more of a backseat after he left.
Death Row.
Just on production.
Yeah.
I think what he spearheaded over the years, like you'd think people would know Dre, but like you can put a picture up of Dre, and then put a picture up of Snoop. People will recognize Snoop before they recognize Dre.
Before they recognize Dre, because Dre hasn't been in the forefront of everything. Even the beats, you barely saw his face. Before they sold it, do you know what I mean? Even though he's the one that's earned all the money from it.
This
you know what I mean? So,
this is it.
But yeah, it's like, guys, what do you think about Snoop Dogg buying Death Row? Do you think it's going to be a success? Do you think that it's going to bring back some of the harder productions from back in the day? Or do you think it's going to go the way rap is going now? Leave us some comments down below and let us know what you think.